Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for part 2 of the Q&A, so let's go ahead and get this started. All right, first question. If a person can only train 2 times per week due to scheduling issues, why would the upper lower still be superior to full body? Really, I could go a couple of ways with this. I did give an answer there to where I pointed out advanced lifters struggle to get enough volume in a full body session, so yes, upper lower in this case. Um, And I don't even have a problem with that answer, to be fair. The problem you will have, though, is that means you're going to be probably squatting and deadlifting on the same day. And if you're doing any amount of volume, problematic. It could be problematic. So, again, it depends on what system you're using. If you're stuck doing something like this with more of, say, like 5-3-1, I might go ahead and do squat and bench on the same day and then press and deadlift. That essentially ends up being full body, but you're going to have to really limit your supplemental work to some extent, right? Because you're going to have to program all your work on those. So in that case, I still might say, well, in that case, it is kind of full body at that point, right? Not really true upper lower. Although we could argue the press and deadlift day is more upper body biased. I don't know. If you're running like conjugate, I would just space it out. Quite frankly, I would just run the upper lowers. I would do max effort upper, max effort lower on 1 week. I would do dynamic effort upper and dynamic effort lower the next week and just repeat that rotation. So, the answer to a question like this, I think it really depends on your training system. And it has to do with the individual volumes and flow of those systems. And again, I'm assuming you're not a novice, right? If you're a rank novice, look, just run a novice program. You could run my original 5x5 twice a week instead of 3 times and space it out. You will be fine. But if you're not a novice anymore and you're going to run one of these other systems, I really think the answer is more nuanced than that. It really is more nuanced than, well, just either full body or upper lower. I think it depends on the way these systems are periodized, right? I think it matters here. I know, and this is not a straightforward answer, but the question itself is so nuanced because we're coming down to, hey, how should a person train? Do you see the issue with it with these sort of questions? We're getting very nuanced. I think it's going to depend on, in this case, because of your limits, keeping in mind you have limitations in place, so you're not going to get maximum gains. That's going to interfere to some extent because of the fact you can only train twice a week. The question is, can you get 80% of your possible gains? And that's going to come down to how novice are you, and then what system of programming are you using after that? It really matters in that context. It's not a straightforward answer. All right, next question. Just benched 135 for 3 reps after 6 weeks of training, setting a goal to bench 225 in the future. All right, what is a realistic time frame to achieve this? Stop setting time frames to achieve strength goals. This is a piece of advice I give my clients. Ask any one of my clients how bad I cuss them up one side and down the other when they say, Coach, how long do you think it's going to take me to deadlift X amount of weight? I cuss them out. And these are people who are paying me, because you are essentially effing yourself in the A with no lube and no reach around. See, I've cut the profanity out. You are literally effing yourself with this mindset. Stop doing it. The answer is it could take you anywhere between 6 weeks and 3 years. Do you see why there's a problem? I don't know. What do your genetics look like? What programming are you using? Are you bulking? Are you cutting? Okay. Too many factors. We don't even know how big you are. You don't know your height, your weight, anything about your genetics. Literally, the answer could literally be 6 weeks to 3 years. Those are obscenely different numbers. Why don't you just get in and train and get as strong as you can? As strong as you can, running good programming and drop this idea of I have a time frame to hit a number. Why don't you just get strong as fuck? Put in the work, eat the food. Drop the time frame, because I would need to coach someone for 6 months straight before I can estimate how long it will take them to reach a certain goal after that. That's what it requires, 6 months of coaching. Okay? At $250 a month to answer those questions for you, I'm going to need you do the math yourself. $1,500. Because that's how long I have to coach someone to estimate their potential for strength gain. And I do that with my advanced and elite guys. There's no way someone could just take something like that and answer it. You can't. So don't worry about it. Just get strong. All right, next question and last question of the week. All right, this question itself had some issues with it. There was a bunch of follow-up, and I tried to put some of the conversation up. But he put, how would I get chest to bar pull-ups and chin-ups when I can only get chin over the bar? Using the pull-up station and lightening the load, touch to chest, progressive overload. Do I stop reps when the range of motion decreases and only do perfect reps? By the way, I have access to a large commercial gym. Well, here's your problem. The fact that you even think you can do chest to bar tells me you may not be that big of a guy. Because I can honestly tell you, as someone who has a massive back, the ability for me to touch chest to bar can't happen. Like I cannot do it on a lat pull down, let alone pulling my body weight up. On an incline bench, which replicates that, I can barely get a 45-pound empty bar to touch my chest. I have to row it into my chest, which is why when you guys see me incline bench, why it pops off my chest like lightning. It's like instantaneous, like I'm wearing a bench shirt. And then if I miss it, it's further up. I stick in the middle. And it's because I have to row the weight. I have to literally pull. If it's less than 100 pounds, I have to strain to pull it into my chest. I can't just lower the bar. It won't do it. So do you see the problem with chest to bar if you have a back? You have no back if you're even worried about this. And I get a lot of guys who look at this and I'm like, look, what is your range of motion? It is, what you need to look at is, can you physically do chest to bar? If you can do chest to bar without rotating your shoulders in a weird way, just with a normal lat movement, if you can physically do it, then you need to just do it on every rep. Okay? You need to just do it. And if you can't do it with your body weight, but you can do it with assistance, then you're not strong enough to do pull-ups or chin-ups through your personal range of motion. And you need to do them through your full range of motion. And it sounds funny because some people watch mine and are like, well, your range of motion is short, but it's my full range of motion. That is my scapula coming apart. I'm spreading my scapula at the top, and then I'm pinching my shoulder blades together as far as I can go on the way back up, or on the way up, and then at the bottom they're spread apart. I can't go any further. It's just my structure and size. But I do my full range of motion. You need to do your full range of motion. And if you're not strong enough to do reps with it, then you need to address the elephant in the living room. You need to address that you're fat and that you have weak lats. Okay, you might need to just do more rowing and go on a diet. There's your solution. And then come back and fix it. But if you're finding that you get up there like, well, I can't get my chest to the bar, then don't worry about it. There's no benefit to trying to twist yourself in a weird way that exceeds your range of motion on a pull-up. You're either moving your lats to a full range of motion or you aren't. So why do you care? Don't worry about it. It's not like you're in the pull-up Olympics. Are you going to win a gold medal for doing chest to bar pull-ups? Or are you doing pull-ups to get bigger and stronger and thicker and to build your back and your biceps and to help build your deadlift and other movements? That's what you need to think about. So you use your personal range of motion. And like I said, if you're not strong enough to do them with sufficient reps through your personal full range of motion, then you need to address your bigger problems, that you have weak lats and that you're fat. Okay? You have bigger problems. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.